Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell, somewhere over here. Get all the updates. Right side for today's video. So it's Thursday. On Thursdays, I try to do Thursday's Thirsty Thoughts. I've been really trying to do it. Also, FYI, I am running very low on topic ideas. So if you have any ideas, definitely comment below. But anyway, so I've really been enjoying. It seems like people, it's been getting a good uptick in engagement with people commenting with their shared stories. These first times I had, pretty popular beers. I don't have a ton of them left that I really truly remember the first time I had. I have a few more that I thought of. I'm probably gonna look at some beer lists and stuff and like the Beer Advocate list and see if, as I read those, if maybe some memories are jogged. But this one I have pretty darn good memory of. So first thing I want to mention is actually a different beer. Speaking of not maybe always remembering the first time I had something, I believe, other than probably Guinness way back in the day, like on St. Patrick's Day, I'm sure someone was like, hey, try this Guinness. But besides probably just Guinness, the first time I had a stout was Brooklyn's, what's it called, a chocolate stout? Do I have any back there? Wait, now that I redid all my shelving. Well, I do, but it's way too far back. Brooklyn's Chocolate Stout. I think that's just the name of it. Not their Black Ops. It's just a regular stout. And I was at Wegmans, and I saw it, and I was so excited. I'm like, oh, cool. Like, we got Brooklyn stuff. And I'm like, I've had some Brooklyn stuff. Their Sriracha Ace was awesome. I don't know if they still make that beer. And Hand and Seal I've already spoken so highly of. But anyway, Brooklyn has made, and I think continues to make, although I haven't had their stuff in a couple years now I think about it, since it's at the brewery. But anyway, this isn't about that. So I'm so excited. I'm like, oh, I love chocolate. I'm known as the vanilla police, and that is true. But chocolate is my preferred dessert, and chocolate stuff. And I was so excited because it said chocolate stout. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna love this. I got a 6-pack of it. Tried it. Not a fan. I also didn't like IPAs for a while. That's a whole other story. So like these things, I'm kind of infamous for drinking a lot of stouts and IPAs. Initially, I was not a fan of either of those. I think it was the bitterness for both of them, bitter in different ways typically, but the bitterness in both. At that time, I probably still gravitated towards sweeter chocolate too, until I had some of those Taza chocolates. I was like, oh, I might start liking darker chocolate before then. Anyway, this is a lot of information before I'm even getting to the beer that I'm actually talking about. So I was a little like, I don't know how much I like stouts, and then I tried some other ones, revisited the Brooklyn, because I had the other 5 just sitting in a closet. I don't even think I kept them in the refrigerator. I'm like, I'm going to give these some age. I heard you could age beers like this. Started really liking stouts. So unlike that Heady Topper, first time I had it, where I was like, wait, I think this beer, I think I know the name of this beer. And then I looked up, I'm like, oh, yeah, I know this beer. No wonder I know this beer. It's like the best IPA in the world, double IPA. And I'm like, oh, I know Bourbon County, but you could not get it in New York. And then the year was 2012. It's the first time I was ever able to try Bourbon County. I've still never tried an older vintage than 2012. And it hit, when did the original Vanilla Rye come out? I don't know what year that was. Maybe if that's before 2012, I guess technically I did have one earlier. But anyway, that's, again, I'm getting off track. I'm trying to be linear, and the only thing I was planning on talking about was the Brooklyn beer for a little bit, then getting into this. So I was at Wegmans, different time than when I bought the Brooklyn again, because at the time I was excited to try a stout like that. Then I didn't really love stout. So I was aware that that beer was like the first bourbon barrel aged stout, and I was so excited to try it. I think I had a couple ones, maybe like Anderson Valley, one of those that was a little easier to get. That was pretty good. But I was like, this one is supposed to be awesome. And I've heard people rave about it. Some of my beer friends at the time who had tried it before were like, yeah, no, that beer is awesome. And we got it at Wegmans. And at the time, it came in 4-packs in those 12-ounce bottles. And they had a make-your-own 6-pack. And someone had pulled a bottle, so the other 3 got put into the make-your-own 6-pack. It was not me, because this story actually wouldn't make sense if it was me. So now in the make-your-own 6-pack, so I didn't do that, so I'm not guilty of that. Now in the make-your-own 6-pack, you are supposed to take one of each beer. So you should have 6 different beers. Did I put 3 of them into that make your own 6-pack plus 3 other beers? Yes, I did. So that's on me. That's on me. But the statute of limitation, I think, is up at this point. So I went to the cashier, got rung out. Now, they had plenty of 4-packs still, but I wanted to see if I liked it after the Brooklyn one. I'm like, I want to make sure I like this stout before I get more of it. Got home, blew me away. I remember trying it immediately when I got home. I might have chilled it for a little bit, but I didn't wait days, weeks, or months to try. Like, it was immediate. Maybe even the next day was all. Like, that would be the longest I waited. And it blew me away. I loved the mix of what I had known, or become, how I had finally known, like, different things stouts kick out. So I'm like, okay, it's got these stout things that I'm used to at this point. Plus, it has all this extra stuff from the barrel aging, from the bourbon having been in the barrel first. And it really blew my mind. And it was like one of those game changers. It was, you know, my life is going this way with craft beer, and it goes this way, where I'm like, I need to seek out more of this. So I did go and buy another 4-pack the next time I was at Wegmans. And then I also was just seeking other bourbon barrel aged, any kind. So that's also, I think, when I started getting the barley wines, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, it's Bigfoot barley wine or whatever, you know, but it's aged in bourbon barrels. That wasn't true. Like, that, I had Bigfoot before I ever had the barrel aged version. But it was like, all right, oh, this is aged in bourbon barrels. Okay. This is before I was even like messing around with whiskeys and bourbon. I was just like, okay, this just adds, I know this adds another layer to something I already like that's making me like it even more. And yeah, definitely, you know, down the rabbit hole. And you know, I've been trying to do a better variety of beer for the beer reviews, but like definitely the bread and butter, the stuff I do the most is definitely stouts, barley wines, barrel aged or not, and then IPAs. So it is kind of funny to think back, right? I didn't initially like stouts or IPAs, but yeah, sorry for the very all over the place story. You know, the mind wanders. You know, just, you know, work's been busy. I just, you know, got home. I just did the review of this. That's not the fall. I had only, you know, 5-6 sips. This is the 2018 that's coming out Saturday, so make sure you check that out, or maybe Sunday, sometime this weekend. Anyway, it's been long enough. I'm sure this is a long video at this point. So, do you guys remember the first time you had Bourbon County? Was it a game changer for you, or did you hate it and you're like, no, I'm never drinking that style again, and you haven't? It opened up your eyes to wanting to also try spirits, anything, everything. Comment section below. Let's get a conversation going. Once you're done doing that, make sure you check me out on Instagram and Untapped. It's No Hype Beer Reviews at both those places. So please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, which hand? Cheers.